any idea of who I was or what I wanted to do. I also felt a lot of like panic and I felt very overwhelmed that like whatever decision I made, like I was locked into it, which isn't the reality, but that's what I was feeling. So I felt like I couldn't make a decision. Um, and that was really hard because, I mean, senior year, you're 17, 18 years old. Um, you're still trying to figure out who you are, and then now people are wanting you to make decisions about what degree you're going to get, what career you're going to take. And it actually wasn't until my senior year at Coastal um, that I did an internship with the Horry County Museum, and I worked in their archives, and I realized that like I really enjoyed that, and like they also have a like library collection at the museum, and I enjoyed that. So I'm now getting my Master's of Library Science and Information, um, and yeah, I didn't figure that out until like a year and a half ago. So like, it's okay if you don't. One, it's okay if you don't know who you are because if we're honest, no matter how old you are, you're still learning new things about yourself. And two, like because there were people in my class who seemed to have their entire life planned out. Now, many of them, that's not how it's going because you can't plan life. Um, but I felt like I was very behind. It felt like everybody else knew what they wanted to do, and I was over here like, I have no idea what I want to do. Um, Now, I was at Coastal when the pandemic hit. So I got one semester at Coastal that was normal. And I really struggled with the online classes too. Like I said, I've always been good at history and social studies, but doing that online, it basically became I was teaching myself the history, and then I was also then writing and analyzing it by myself, and there was no like real. A lot of history is like discussing and like peer conversations, and we just didn't really have that. I mean, you could try to make it happen over Zoom, it never worked. So it was very isolating and it was very hard. And I also felt like things that used to be quite easy in person were much more difficult. But I mean, you had no choice, you got through it.
For sure. Teaching during that was also interesting. Now it's like, oh, let's do a new learning day. I'm like, cool, I love doing this. I learned how to do it, so I'm pretty decent at it. I'm great, I'm pretty decent at it. And for a lot of our students, they don't think they're ever going to have to learn online. That's funny, because you will. All right, so we finished up, and Emily talked a little bit. You're working on a master's degree. Isabel, you kind of went a completely different route.
Yeah, let me tell you, I jumped from career to career all while I was here. I thought I was going to go into forensics and crime scene investigation. And then they put me in those classes, which was great. I absolutely loved those. But it was around a bad time. Sure, all of you remember on the news. And they were like, "You're gonna have to be a street cop first. Like, you're just gonna have to be a normal everyday cop. Build your way up if you want to stay around here." Um, I'm a female for one. Not that girls can't do it, but you're not gonna put me out on the street. That's kind of a joke to me. I wouldn't feel safe personally if somebody tried to come and save me. So that was just not for me at that point. And then let's see, radiology. Thought about being a PE teacher. I thought about being a regular, just elementary school teacher. I thought about athletic trainer. And then hair came along, and that was probably right before COVID hit. And I was like, financially, where do I want to be within the next 5 years? And now we are at that 5 year mark, which is kind of crazy. Um, And I was like, tech makes the most sense. I knew that my family, none of them had ever gone to college and completed it. So I was going to be basically like the first, other than my mom, going to tech. And I chose hair, and then I did that for 3 semesters, finished my 1,500 hours, and started working in the same salon that my mom actually works at. So she does nails, and I do the hair. And it's been great. It's really cool to be creative, not have a boss. I'm a booth runner, so I pay rent weekly for my space that's there. And then I can go home. I can make my own schedule. If I want to go hang out with my dog and hang out with him, like it's very nice having that flexibility. But I definitely had to work hard to get to that point. Um, and yeah, it's just a lot of self like learning every day. So,
I love that part too about your story, because a lot of the school stuff was hard, and you ended up finding something that you're really talented with and really great at. Again, Grand Salon downtown College. I'll plug you forever.
I have an
Huge
Instagram.
for you. But you found something you're really good at and passionate about it, and you're basically an entrepreneur. You rent the space. I don't know if everybody called that. You rent the space in somebody's salon. She's setting her own hours. That's fantastic. That's great. You don't want to see people on such and such a day. You don't have to.
Yeah.
That's your business.
Yeah, I feel like it was also kind of what she said about the whole you think you have your whole life planned out in high school. My nickname here was Mom. Like I was very motherly, trying to do the right thing as far as in like I never wanted to get in trouble. Either at school, it was what police, your parents, it was like the priest or whatever, your preacher. So I stuck to that very well. And so by this age, I thought that I was gonna have, my dream job, and which I do, but thought I was gonna be married with my first high school boyfriend and possibly had a kid by now, and that's just not how my life went, and that's okay. And I feel like you guys are at this stage where you really just need to like focus on what you're doing right now, because if you do, then it'll make your future easier. You don't have to worry about your future necessarily sophomore year as much. Just see what you like and like put yourself out there. And if there's opportunities here to go tour something or go do something, even if you may think that it's not all that interesting, just go try it because you never know. I mean, I went and toured Boeing. A hairstylist is not going to work at an airplane place like that's just. But I thought it would be cool, and it was a cool opportunity to at least go and see and appreciate what those people do as their job. So
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
I mean, you'll never know if you want to do something until you know that it's an option.
Yeah.
Well, we can definitely sign up and go. I wasn't joking when I was like, hey, I'd really kind of like to go back to machine tool stuff. Those people over there, and it's both men and women over there, they make pretty close to what I make. And they didn't have any debt, and they're 20 years old. So they're 22 years younger than me making what I make, and that number will only go up. Tour it, check it out, see if it's something like, yeah, okay, I can do that. Or like Boeing, it's cool to see how they make airplanes. Even if you're not actually going to go do it, it is cool to see people who are following their passion and they do stuff really, really well. I'm not going to be a cosmetologist,
Yeah.
but like you're really good at what you do, and I can appreciate that about you, and you have that passion, and that's great. So make sure to take advantage of those opportunities. Go check out Machine Tool. If we take you to go check out cosmetology or the LPN program or EMT or paralegal or whatever, check it out. Don't have this mindset that, I'm going to be a doctor. Because how many doctors Early College has? We're still at 0.
Yeah.
We're almost 20 years in.
We probably had 2 people in our class that wanted to be,
right.
At this age.
Yep. So get out there and experience this stuff. You won't know if you don't like it and you don't see it. So get out there and try that, and don't think you know actually what you want to do quite yet. Because we're setting you up to succeed, setting you up to win. Experience it. All right, so I guess Skylar's probably not coming. Now, Skylar also was an athlete too.